Hi there and welcome to Celeb Hut. It appears as though he has picked his sight on this continuous hamburger among Drake and Kendrick Lamar, and he is standing 10 toes down behind Kendrick. Now Drake and Kendrick have been grinding away for a moment at this point, yet Katt Williams has an insane tea that adds to a stunning, unexpected development to the whole dramatization as per computer-aided design, while Kendrick's diss tracks are veritable. And he implied with each and every weighty word that he said Drake is supposedly being utilized as a mannequin for the elites to conceal a few exceptionally obscure insider facts. Apparently, much more individuals are being positioned to be presented in association with Diddy's violations, and Drake is being utilized as a concealment for it. Purportedly, seems to be Katt Williams hasn't arrived for this kind of find the stowaway, and he is over here uncovering probably the most chaotic and shadiest cover-ups in Hollywood. So how about we get into this tape me that Drake has a representative whose occupation is to circumvent town searching for very hot young ladies. He finds the young ladies, and afterward he meets them. Out of the multitude of young ladies he meets, he picks the one that he feels is the best, and then he drives her to Drake's place. Drake has had intercourse with her, you all, so Katt Williams hasn't arrived for Drake and Kendrick Lamar's beefing. In light of the fact that he accepts that the dramatization is all phony, essentially from Drake's perspective, while C accepts that Kendrick is truly about that dramatization and needs all the smoke from Drake, he accepts that Drake is purportedly being moved by the tip-top, particularly Lucian Graham. As per Keck, Lucian has purportedly been teasing Kendrick with this hamburger to occupy the upsetting reports against him. For those of you who don't realize, it was as of late uncovered. Country security sees in excess of 250 mystery cameras stowed away in Diddy's homes in LA and Miami. This wasn't a shock at all on the grounds that Lil Bar previously let us know that Diddy had cameras concealed in each nook and cranny of his little houses, the court record said, while residing and going with Mr. Jones found that Mr. Combs had stowed away cameras in each room of his home. Mr. Jones accepts that Mr. Combs has accounts of superstar music marked leaders, legislators, and competitors, additionally proceeded to say that the celebs being referred to didn't realize that they were being recorded in light of the fact that Diddy didn't precisely give them the assent structure when they got into his home, in the claim Pohl proceeded to say upon data and conviction, because of the mother lode of proof he currently possesses. Mr. Combs accepts that he is exempt from the laws that apply to everyone else and is unapproachable. The word in the road is that there was a ton of terrible, frightful stuff on these tapes, which isn't that amazing on the grounds that Diddy's home has forever been the center for celebs to get their oddity G and take part in kind of tricks that you don't believe that the world should see or be aware of, on the off chance that you get my meaning. Great Minimal laid in on his claim that there were a ton of obscure and dreadful things happening with VIPs. While he named some celebs who were associated with the obscure stuff, he demanded that Lucian Grange, the head of the Widespread Music Bunch and the most influential man in Hollywood, was supposedly responsible for this load of freaky stuff, and he was right up there with Diddy while possibly not above him. He even blamed Lucian for supposedly benefiting from Diddy's affirmed dealing plan. The court record said among the substantial advances that litigants Lucian Charles Grange and Widespread Music Gathering took to help the Combs' sex-dealing adventure between around 2000 and going on through November 2023. Respondents Lucian Charles Gray and General Music Gathering disguised its conveyance of huge amounts of money, likely huge number of dollars, to Mr. Combs and his partners. No doubt you all, the archive proceeded to blame Lucian and UMG for purportedly going well beyond to safeguard. Diddy, sex dealing with activity, guaranteed that Lucian and UMG tenaciously neglected to opportune document required charge divulgences encompassing the financing of these sex-dealing parties with the national government on the grounds that doing so would risk its capacity to benefit from the sex-dealing adventure. It additionally blamed them for benefiting from the activity, and that purportedly kept on assisting Diddy with concealing the activity since they were raking in boatloads of cash from it and not fing no one's duties purportedly, Well, Lil Bar was not modest in his claim, neither in light of the fact that the claims proceeded to say that respondents, Lucian Charles Guillard and all-inclusive music gathering, purposely took part in sex dealing and furthered the sex dealing adventure. The substantial strides above comprised participating in the sex dealing adventure, and were fundamental for its prosperity. The substantial advances comprised dynamic commitment by respondents in sex dealing. Adventure better believe it. So Yuan was totally turned around up in this claim, and he has a ton composing on this case. He denied the claims through his legal advisor, obviously who made an announcement for his sake, saying in an unpalatably foolish objection, arrangement has been inappropriate. Bodily hauled into this matter regardless of having no information on, nor any contribution in any of Mr. Coles's supposed direct. Not exclusively will we exhibit the hostile misrepresentation of these cases, yet we will look for recuperation of each and every penny of cost and harm brought about by their statement. Yet when the report about the cameras spilled, there were reports that Lucian was gotten on tape purportedly doing some unusual stuff for certain little youngsters, and individuals couldn't key. I'd discussing it, however, at that point. The following thing we realized, Drake haphazardly delivered a diss track against Kendrick, and everyone disregarded the show with Lucian. Yet the fascinating thing about this is that Drake is known to have an extremely cozy relationship with Lucian. So close, truth be told, that individuals gave a false representation of that they had something private happening between them in the event that you get my meaning, and it's been under 7 days since Kanye West alluded to Lucian as Drake's child daddy. Drake has a rich child daddy named Lucian, so his streams and the number ones are all constrained by somebody named Lucian. Well, Lucian works for individuals who control the banks in Africa who keep you informed, so when the reports about the camera began becoming a web sensation, Katt Williams guaranteed that Lucian claimed to have connected with his boo thing Drake to work up some debate. That is all constrained by somebody named Lucian. Well, Lucian works for individuals who control the banks in Africa who keep you informed, so when the reports about the camera began becoming a web sensation, Katt Williams guaranteed that Lucian claimed to have connected with his boo thing Drake to work up some debate. That is the reason Drake dropped 2 back-tack diss tracks against Kendrick in light of the fact that he realized that Kendrick would answer and the show would work up. Kendrick then rammed back hard with his 6-minute plate elation, where he obviously gobbled Drake up, yet Drake didn't withdraw, and he pulled a move that made certain to make Kendrick applaud back, and he brought Kendrick's significant other and kids into the meet with the tune Family Matters, and he resuscitated those gossipy tidbits about Kendrick supposedly putting hands on his life partner. Whitney, you know those tales that Kendrick once denied. He additionally blamed Kendrick for being an awful dad to the 2 children that he has with Whitney, saying, "Bobby, I need to understand what Whitney needs. All that infatuation was over in your late adolescence. Why did you never hold your child and let him know? Say, Cheddar, we might have avoided the children with regards to this. Don't fault me." He then, at that point, uncovered that Whitney had gone behind Kendrick's back with his supervisor Dave Free, guaranteeing that one of Kendrick's children wasn't his natural kid, and that Whitney had given Dave's child to Kendrick as his. He said, "You are a canine, and you understand what you simply play. Sweet, your child, mom, is continuously shouting, 'Save me, you did, or filthy for your entire life, you attempting to make harmony. I heard that one of them young children may be Day Ree. Don't make it Day Freeze, 'cause your GM is your BM secret BD. Then it's all sounding good to me. Hello, let that show de breath as of F now." Kendrick took the glove totally off and began battling Messy, and he raised the tales about how Drake was supposedly a PDF document who did wrecked things to youngsters. He even disgraced Drake's mother for raising a terrible man, saying Sandra plunked down. What I'm going to say is weighty. Now listen, your child's a wiped-out man with wiped-out considerations. I think ninjas like him ought to pass on him, and Weinstein ought to get effed up in the phone until the end of their life. He loathes people of color, hypersexualize them with wrinkles of an information fixation who face your damnation, 'cause he comprehended being a B just fit him better. He got sex wrongdoers on Jovio that he keep on a month-to-month remittance. A kid ought to never be compromising. He keeping his kid around him, and we got to bring up our girls, realizing his hunters like him sneaking B. Etter believe it. This was a wreck, yes, yet it was something of a loosely held bit of information, supposedly in light of the fact that there have been bits of gossip about Drake for some time. There have likewise been numerous charges that he holds wild Diddy, like gatherings in Toronto, with secondary school young ladies being his interest group. Purportedly, he's been tossing those equivalent kinds of gatherings that Diddy used to toss. Assuming I'm genuine with you, brother, experiencing childhood in Econdary school, 16, 17, 18, having eyes for the baddest young lady in your school, and afterwards seeing her post at Drake's house each and every time, drinking the follows. You don't have the foggiest idea how dampening that is to a youthful teen kid in Canada. So in the event, subscribe Celeb Hut for more videos.